Hi everyone, this is Dinesh of AM Business School. If you are a person who always afraid about the pile up works, or if you are a person who always procrastinate your activities, or otherwise if you are a person who wants to improve your productivity, then you want to read the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. There are 21 ways to avoid and overcome procrastination, but before that, there are two main rules instructed in the instruction part of this book. The first rule is there are two frogs given to eat. The main thing the author says to us here is to eat the frog which we consider very big and ugliest one first. Actually, here the frog is refers to the activities which we do in our day-to-day life. So, the author insists us to do the activity first which we considered as the big thing and which we always afraid to do in first. So we want to do the activities in our life which we think very big and it's not convenient for us to do. But here the author says to do it. The second rule is that there is a live frog in front of you. There is a strict condition that you want to eat that frog. You should not wait till the frog dies. You should eat it immediately. Here, the frog refers to the activities which have problems and consequences if we do so. Always we think that if we do this, there will be problem and we should not do it, and whether we can face that problem or not, we will doubt ourselves. The author says that first of all, we should do the instant action immediately to the activity which should be done at the right time. Always do the activities at that point itself. It will help us to avoid and overcome procrastination in our life. Beyond these two rules, there are many things discussed in this book. The first one is think on paper. Yes, always in our life, we used to have a confusion that what are all the things we should do in a day. So here the author says us to have a to-do list. Yes, have a to-do list in your life so we can avoid the confusion of what are all the things we have to do in a day and which should be done first and all. To have the solution for which thing should be done first, here the author have a solution, that is 80 by 20 rule. It is also known as Pareto rule. In Italy, there are only 80% of the people holding 20% of the land, and other side 20% of people handling 80% of the land. So this rule apply to all the fields. So for example, if we take 100 people are responsible for a problem, the main reason of the problem is only by that 20% people. So it applies in our life. So here we want to take this rule and we want to apply in that to-do list. Here we get the prioritized to-do list. Yes, the things which should be done first and things which should be done next. After prioritizing our activities, we should check the results. Yes, we want to know what is the result of the activities we are doing first. Yes, if we are not doing the activities as first, what are all the results? Then we also want to see the expected result by our team members. We want to satisfy the results of the team members because as a group it is very much important. As an individual, we want to consider our results which will grow in our life. And second one to check this is consider the consequences. Always see the consequences by whether if I do this job I have any consequences, or if I am not doing that job I will face any consequences. So by these two benchmarks, checking the results, consider the consequences, we can make the activities which are all very much important to us. It will show us the activities which is very much important and which is have the higher priority to do first. Now we know what are all the important activities to be done by giving priority to it. The author also discussed another point called creative procrastination. Here he says that how to know what are all the important activities. The less important things should be procrastinated for a purpose, or otherwise if it is not much important to us, it should be delegated to some other person. Some people will say in their life there is no work-life balance. I am always facing stress. I can't enjoy my life. I am always thinking so many things. So the author having a solution for this by saying the law of three. Yes, he says that always have only mainly three things in your mind which is most important at that point in life. Always have a focus only on three things. Don't compile many things in your mind and have stress. And some persons will say, I am not having time to spend with my family. Here the author says, if you want to spend the time with your family, you want to increase or improve the quality of the work you are doing. In job, if you are improving your quality, your productivity will improve. If you want to improve the quality of your work, you want to focus on many points which are discussed in the book. By the points which you have discussed earlier, they are: focus on key result areas. Prepare thoroughly before you begin. Take it one oil barrel at a time. Upgrade your key skills. Leverage your special talents. Identify your key constraints. Put the pressure on yourself. Maximize your personal powers. Motivate yourself into action. Get out of the technology time sinks. Slice and dice the task. Create a large chunks of time. Always do a job for a long period of time. Don't have any distraction. If you want any distraction, you have a time for distraction itself. Don't in between interpret or distract yourself from a job which you are doing. Next, develop a sense of urgency. Single handle every task. Guys, these are all the main things discussed in this book to avoid and overcome procrastination. And also we can have a look about the author Brian Tracy. He is the top professional speaker in America who used to address 250,000 people each year throughout the world, like Europe, Asia and so on. Yes, his books are known for his best selling. Yes, one of it is eat that frog. Last but not the least, guys, it's all begins in us. Always have confidence in you to grow and get success in your life. So just do it. Eat that frog. Happy.
Hello everyone, I am Karpagam from Avidas Academy of Management. I am pursuing MBA first year. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Roshni ma'am, the director of AAM Business School, and next Alex sir, the head trainer, and finally Aisha ma'am, the training coordinator, for giving me the opportunity to present the book at this time. The book given to me is Who Moved My Cheese? An Amazing Way to Deal with Change in Your Work and in Your Life by Dr. Spencer John. And Spencer John was one of the best top-selling authors. He completed BA Psychology from the University of Southern California, and he did his master degree from Royal College of Surgeons, and he was the medical director of communication metronics, and he was also the inventor of cardiac pacemaker. And one of the most successful business books was Daily Telegraph. And coming to the Who Moved My Cheese is a simple book, and it is suitable for all the age group of people, and it is an amazing and enlightening stories of 4 characters who lives in a maze, and they look for their cheese in order to nourish them and make them happy. The word cheese here refers to what you want to have in your life, whether it may be a good job, a good relationship, money, possession, or a peace of a mind. The word maze here refers to where you look for what you want in your life, the organization you live in, or the society or a community. To giving you a quick snippet of this book by Spencer Johnson is Anticipate Change, Adapt to Changes Quickly, Enjoy Change, Be Ready to Change Quickly Again and Again. It also discovers the secret for yourself and how to deal with the changes so that you will suffer less from stress and enjoy more with success in your work and in your life. Firstly, let me tell you the story in a simple way. Who Moved My Cheese is a story that revolves around 4 characters. They are Sniff, Scurry, Hem and Ha. Sniff and Scurry are 2 little mices who are always active and anticipated in nature, whereas the Hem and Ha are 2 little people who always denies and refuses to change, as they fear it will lead to something worse will happen in future. Each and every morning, Sniff and Scurry find cheese and enjoy it at the one corner of the cheese station. Hem and Ha do the same thing at each and every morning. One fine day, Sniff and Scurry noticed that the cheese was diminishing, and they came to know aware of it. On the other hand, Hem and Ha didn't notice any changes around them. They simply believed that they will get the cheese all the day undoubtedly. Once the cheese got emptied on a particular station, Sniff and Scurry had gone in search of a new cheese on the other station. But Hem and Ha were scared of finding a new cheese on the other station. They restricted themselves, and they simply believed that they will get a cheese on some other day, and so that they refused to search for the new cheese. As few days passed, Sniff and Scurry were enjoying the cheese every day. Ha started to realize his mistake and asked Hem to search for the new cheese at the other station, but Hem refused to come with Ha. So Ha found another way, and finally he got his cheese, where Sniff and Scurry are already enjoying their cheese at the same station. During the journey of Ha in the maze, he wrote whatever he had learned on the wall, believing that one day Hem might move on and start finding his new cheese. This is the story that I have learned from this book, Who Moved My Cheese. Also, I have noted down my favorite lines from this book, and and I'm going to read it one by one. The first one is, the quicker you let go of your old cheese, the sooner you will find your new cheese. The second one is, movement in a new direction helps you find new cheese. And the third one is, notice small changes yearly, which helps you adapt to the bigger changes that are yet to come. And the fourth one is, don't take anything for granted. Because whenever we think something is permanent, we start taking it for granted easily. By keeping in mind that we never know when the thing will change. So we start creating value everything around us and learn to appreciate it every day. Yes, I end up my book presentation here by saying the powerful line that nothing will change unless you change. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dinesh K from AAM Business School, and today we are going to do a book presentation on the book Good to Great by Jim Collins. Good is the enemy of great. This is how the author starts explaining the findings from his team's half a decade of research in the mastery of how to make good companies great. Jim Collins and his team studied 11 publicly traded companies that performed below the market average for 15 years, then outperformed the market by more than threefold over the next 15 years. Essentially, good to great happens very rarely, and it is because it is quite difficult. In his research, Jim Collins has found systematic phases through which any great company goes through and lays out a framework. Now let us look into each of these components into a little detail. First, the hedgehog concept. The fox may know many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing. This is from an ancient Greek parable. The good to great companies had a great hedgehog concept, a core strategy, a unifying vision that simplified their business ground. The good to great companies discovered their hedgehog concept by focusing on three circles. Circle 1. What can we be and cannot be the best in the world at? It is important that the organizations not only know what they can be the best in the world, but also know what they cannot be the best in the world at. You need to be the best in your core business. The idea to find the competency at which only you can be truly best in the world and then discard any other competencies. Just because something is core to your business and you have been doing it for years does not always mean that you can be the best at it. Hence, only those things in which you can truly be best at makes it into a hedgehog concept. The second circle asks the question, what is our economic engine? To understand the driver of your economic engine, it is important to know the economic denominator. It is the single most important ratio that has been the single biggest impact to the company. Ask the question, if you were to pick only one ratio that would bring the greatest impact, then what would that be? That this leads to a great insight about the economics of the organization and hence better decisions. Circle 3. What are we deeply passionate about? The last part of the three circles is having a deep understanding of what you are passionate about. Only when the companies indulge on things that they are really passionate about, they can produce results that exceed expectations. It is not always necessary about a passion about what you do as a business, but it can equally be about what you stand as for a business. So the second concept that was discussed in the book is the bus. Good to great companies are careful about who they let on their bus and are quick to get the wrong people off their bus and constantly move the right people around till they find the right seat. All good to great manage their people using three principles. Principle 1. When in doubt, don't hire. Keep looking. Principle 2. When you know what you need to make people change, act. Collins says letting the wrong people hang around is unfair to the right people, as they inevitably find themselves compensating for the inadequacies of the wrong people. Would you hire a person again, and if this person told us she was leaving to pursue a new exciting opportunity, would we feel terribly disappointed? You will know if you need to make a change if the answer is no to either of these questions. And the final principle is put your best people on your biggest opportunities and not your biggest problems. And the final concept that the author has used to identify a good to great company is the level 5 leadership. Compared to high profile leaders with big personalities who make headlines and become celebrities, the good to great leader seems to have come from Mars. They are more like Lincoln and Socrates than Patton or Caesar. These are words from Jim Collins. All the good to great leaders were level 5 leaders, great managers with the perfect mix of humility and stoic resolve to do whatever it took to make the company great. The level 5 leaders Colin interviewed routinely said things like, I don't think I can take much credit. We were blessed with marvelous people. The leaders of good to great companies didn't care about being famous or well liked. They only cared about making their company great. One good to great CEO of a family pharmaceutical company kicked the family members off the board when he took over the company because that's what was needed to move the company forward. Another CEO routinely went against the Wall Street and held to his vision even after Wall Street analysts downgraded the company's stock. So, in conclusion, the research showed that all the good to great transformations happened with the consistent application of all the method mentioned phases. It showed that great companies did not emerge due to dramatic revolutionary event, but rather years or decades of adhering to their core tenets, building upon their process, gaining momentum slowly as turn by turn of the flywheel, and ultimately reaching an inflection point of breakthrough. So, thank you guys. This is my presentation for the book Good to Great by Jim Collins, and I would like to thank Roshni ma'am for giving us this opportunity.
Hi, my name is Ijaz Miran. I am pursuing MBA in AM Business School, and now I am going to present a book. The topic of the book is Stay Hunger, Stay Foolish. The author name is Rosmi Bansal. She was a good entrepreneur, author, and also a good motivating speaker as well. Stay Hunger, Stay Foolish was a famous quote of American business magnate Steve Jobs, and that was the title she actually kept for this book. If you have an idea to start a business, this book is completely suitable for you. If you don't have any plan or idea, after finish reading the book, you may get an idea. Most of the people want to start a business, right? But they don't step forward into that because they don't have any idea, or they don't have enough money to invest in the business, or they don't want to take any risk. In case if you don't have any money, it's not a problem. If you don't have any idea, it's also not a problem. If you think you are sitting in a safety job, it's a very big problem. Most of intelligent people also think that government job is suitable. Why? Because in business we don't want to take any risk and don't have any assurance for success. But government job is very safety. Well, we have an assurance that we get a good monthly pay. They do the job whether they like it or they don't like it. In this book, Rosmi Bansal features the stories of 25 MBAs of IIM Ahmedabad who left lucrative jobs to follow the rough road of entrepreneurship. Like I said before, every 25 MBAs have a safety job before starting a business, but they dropped their salary jobs and came out forward to the succeed. They came forward succeed big in business. Likewise, we all know Naukri.com, right? The founder of the Naukri.com is Sanjay, who also had a safety job once, but the businessman inside him was not satisfied with his job. He dropped the job and entered into the business. But he don't know what business to start on that time. In 1996, the internet was developing stage. He noticed that and came with an innovative idea. On the time, most of the people were suffering for searching jobs, and they don't know what other jobs are existing there. He analyzed that and started studying about email, server and network and all. And he starts a business of Naukri.com. That's how Naukri.com came in India. Most of them were unemployed in India, right? He grabs the opportunity and understands the demands of the people and make the process succeed in India. Nowadays, newspaper industry is also getting information from Naukri.com, job informations. Business can be divided into two. One, to push the people to buy their products, but there is a lot of risk on that. It is not easy to register a product in the mind of the customer, right? And second one is understanding the demand of the customer and giving them what they really like and what they need. Sanjeev followed the second and succeed in his business. Likewise, the book were 24 MBA stories and how they develop their business and how they face negativity, discourages, in their life and how they give a huge comeback and succeed in their business life. The key to the success is not one in their life, in their stories, right? It was their first passion. They believed that they could achieve in their life and tried within a couple of years of hard work. And second one, opportunity. They saw it, grabbed it, and implemented it. A slow start doesn't mean that the product will fail. And the third one is connection. We all need a strong connection, right? And the fourth one is care. They were genuinely care about their employees. And the fifth one is love. Your hope and your prayer. If you lose, don't give your hope and prayer. These are the keys for the success in these stories and for us too. All in all, this book is about the people who brought huge process in India and world in some cases. For me, most inspiring part is that most of them came from a simple middle class background, and they are not sons and daughters of rich business people icons from the beginning itself. It is simply their passion, hard work, and they believe that they will succeed in their business. Thank you for giving this opportunity, and thank you for the management same, and thank you one and all.
Hello guys, this is Sabari and I am doing MBA in AIM Business School. In today's video, I am going to review the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. So let's get started. You are lacking communication skill, pick up the book. If you are looking to develop into a leadership role of any sort, this book is essential. It was written by Dale Carnegie in 1936, and who knew that something applicable in 1936 would be so applicable in today's age. The book broken down into 4 parts. I am going to take one concept from each part, which is just a very small fraction of the book, and talk about the part 1 is fundamental techniques and handling people's. Carnegie opens up the concept saying that he frequently fished on the main door in the summer. He says that he is personally fond of berries and creams, but for some strange reason the fish like worms. He went into detail saying that he doesn't bait his hook with strawberry and cream, he bait it with worms because fish like worms. He doesn't think about what he wants, he thinks about what the fish wants, and really the summation he baits the hooks to shoot the fish. If you were to be a personal trainer, you are not going to look for clients and say, hey, I want to build a customer base as your sales pitch. You are going to say, hey, I want to help you lose weight and I am going to do that in a personalized manner. I am going to struggle with you and I am going to sweat with you. I am going to be there for you. I am going to fight with you and we are going to lose weight together. The key to this concept is really putting yourself in another person's perspective, seeing through their eyes, seeing what they want and learning how to align with their want with what is that you want. Sure, this is going to take some creativity and aligning what you want with the receiving party's wants and desires, but always remember you have to construct it through their needs and you have to make it an eager wants for them, or else it's not going to be effective, because the point is they just don't care what you want, and that's the principle of arousing in the other person and eager want. Part 2 are 6 ways to make people like you. When's the last time you asked your dentist how they started school, or when they decide to be a dentist? When the last time you asked your doctor how was their upbringing, what was their family like? Do you even know a millionaire? You know there are millionaires around you all over the place, right? Millions of people walk around every day thinking their life is the only movie that exists. They are the stars and everyone else is co-stars. They are support role and don't realize that every single other person has their own movie which they are the star. How often have you found yourself asking someone how their weekend was, but you really just don't care? Becoming genuinely interested in someone's life is not just about asking how their weekend was and not caring and listening to the mundane stuff they did. If you become genuinely interested in their lives, this will lead you through conversation like you have never had. Let me imagine listening to a millionaire talks about how they made their first $500,000, where their first failure where they lost $20,000, was they are going to love talking about themselves because everyone is playing their own movie. Even the most mundane occupations like an accountant can have the most interesting life. You have no idea because you have never asked them, you have never been genuinely interested in their lives. You could come to the realization that someone saved someone's life before, or someone broke a window to get a dog out of a hot car before. Who knows what you can discover. I mean, the limits are endless. You will find that after you treat everyone as if you want to genuinely know about their entire story, you are going to have very deep rooted connection and friendship that last a lifetime with them. That's the concept I want you to take from the part that has become genuinely interested in others people.
Hello everyone, this is Samyukta and I'm a student of AAM Business School, currently pursuing MBA course. So, I'm going to do a presentation about a book called Simplify, which is this book, and this book is actually written by an author called Joshua Becker. Now, the author just goes on to explain about the 7 guiding principles of minimalism to help people to declutter both their home and their lives. So, the book starts with a synopsis of how the author found minimalism early in his life and how much it helped him to actually save his time and become more organized, and and also how it helped him to actually remove the clutter, both physical and mental clutter, and also inspire others for the betterment of the future. So the author first talks about the concept minimalism. So minimalism is nothing but anything that actually serves purpose in our life, meaning anything that which is actually needed by us, and which is not unnecessary. And the motive of minimalism is to actually look simple and have a full utilization of whatever the product or whatever concept or a thought it is. So this minimalism has some important guiding principles which the author shares in the first section of the book. Now I would like to explain these guiding principles one by one. The first one would be, by adopting minimalism, the author tells us that we'll be more likely to spend less on things. For example, if we own like limited amount of product, it will mentally helps us to actually visualize the room being the room or the living space being organized and clean, and it will motivate us to buy less each and every time we make a purchase. So it serves its purpose there. So the second one will be more productive because of minimalism. So when we own lot of possessions and things in our house, we'll be spending time to clear the mess now and then. So when we spend our time and energy organizing and throwing our possessions, we are wasting our time and energy into doing these things. So if we own less, it'll be a less burden for us to actually concentrate more on the productive side of our lives. So the third one will be we'll have less stress in our lives by adopting minimalism. So when we adopt minimalism, we'll have less stress. The meaning would be we will reduce clutter. Now there comes a concept called clutter. So clutter is nothing but anything that is a visual distraction to our mind. So for example, if we see some clothes piled up in our furniture, or some things just one above the other, some papers lying around our house, we'll feel a mental stress and like unnecessary attention that it takes away. So by adopting minimalism, we'll be able to clean all these products, and also maintain like the house in an organized way. So the fourth one would be the financial aspect of minimalism. By adopting minimalism, we'll be financially able to spend our money in some other useful things. If we buy less products, we'll save some amount of money. So using this money, we can either purchase things that we value the most, or we can donate it to some poor and needy people. Like for example, we can donate it to charity to help the weaker sections of the society. And the last point would be to own higher quality products. So when we adopt minimalism, we'll buy high quality products, and we'll differentiate whether this product is actually of low quality, and so we won't be having the use of it, and we'll be only using the products which are both high quality and which we'll be using to its full utilization. So these are the guiding principles that the author wants the readers to know in the first step of adopting minimalism in their lives. Just now we saw what is minimalism, clutter, and how adopting the principles will help us become great minimalists, and also helps us to keep our lives organized. So now I would like to share about the author's tips which he has advised his followers to actually adopt in their lives regarding cleaning their lives. So the first thing is that the author advises the readers to actually adopt small steps so that they can see gradual improvements in their daily lives and not take a big leap. So here are some of the useful tips that I would like to share with you all from the author's point of view. So the first thing is that the author gives some useful tips regarding how to organize your living space and your house altogether. So for example, if your living room is just cluttered with a lot of decorations and furniture and also some photographs, whatever it may be, you have to identify which are the things you hold the most valuable, and then you have to sort them accordingly and just put the other things away in a in a storage box. And also the most important thing is that we all love clothing, right? We all love to buy clothes, like different type of clothes and too much of clothes. And this is the one of the major important aspects which just clutters our wardrobes. So the author first advises how to clutter our clothes, declutter our clothes. So we have to first just identify what are the clothes that we usually and often wear, and then we have to stack the clothes which we use often on the top, and then keep the clothes which are not used for at least 3 months under the oftenly used tab, or you can keep them away from the clothes which you often use. So by this you can identify which are the cluttering clothes, and then you can just keep them aside. So now the author goes on to explain how the things that we actually decluttered and kept aside. For example, the things that we don't need to dispose in 3 ways. So the first one is that whatever things and products that we find saleable can be sold to other people. For example, if we have an unused furniture, or if we have some clothing that are in usable condition, we can actually sell it to strangers and make money out of it. The second one would be about recycling. So if we have any plastic, or if we have something which can be recycled again, we have to go and give it to the recycling centers, and we can also make money out of it. So the third and final one would be about disposing. In the meaning would be whatever things that we just don't need, that which doesn't have any usage, can be thrown away in the garbage. So These are the things that the author wants to talk about. Just now, I just talked about what is minimalism and the useful tips offered by the author to live an organized life. So, the third section of this book talks about consumerism and spending plan, which I absolutely found interesting and I gladly want to share with you all. So, consumerism. We all know that consumerism means the more people spend on many products, the more it is good for an economy. But although consumerism has its own advantages, there are a lot of disadvantages to it, such as in a consumerist market, producers always make sure the consumers are never satisfied and they keep producing things which are more breakable in nature or which is quite trending. For example, if something is trending, people would love to buy it. And there are also points like for example, it also damages the environment so much because we dump a lot of stuff after using it only for one time. And also, most importantly, people just value only money and goods rather than valuing and just giving importance to their relationships or helping people. So he says consumerism must be avoided at all cost and urges his audience to make wise financial decisions. And the second one, that is the spending plan. So this is also very amazing concept that the author explains. So spending plan is nothing but every single month we all prepare a budget according to how much we spend each and every month. But actually, there are 99% chances that our budget won't be matched with what we actually spend. So the author first like urges the audience to calculate what is the take-home money, and then prepare on what are all the things that they spend, that is the spending plan. For example, he has listed some of the things like the fixed cost which we have to be paying out of our salary. We'll be spending on groceries, on a savings account, and electricity, water, and fuel like petrol for our vehicles, and insurance. And if we have any loan, we'll be using for the interest payment, and also TV and cell phone bills. And these are the common things which we'll be using our money to pay. And then after adjusting money for all the fixed costs, we'll be having some gains in our hands. So the author asks the people to wisely spend the extra money that we have in our hands. For example, we can invest it on the stock market, or else we can buy some products which we find most valuable and useful in our lives. So these are the two concepts that is explained by the author. So he also gives some tips at the end, like some general tips which helps people to maintain minimalism for a long term. The tips are first, we have to buy products for their usefulness and not to show off our status. So sometimes we buy some luxury goods and we just show it off to people that we own something which many people don't. But the real purpose is questionable, and we can't just deny the fact. So we have to buy things for their usefulness and for the meaning that they serve. And the second one would be to remove things which are very much addicting and also not good for our health. For example, if we're having a very unhealthy diet, or if we are consuming alcohol, so such things must be stop. Like we have to stop the addiction slowly, and we have to adopt healthy lifestyle. So these are things he goes on to explain. Now the last part of this video would be about the key takeaways which I found interesting and also useful to adopt in my life for a better future, and also for becoming true minimalist. So the first one would be to promote the things that we value the most. This one goes for all the things and also all the uh, mental aspects of our life, like our inner peace and our time that we get to spend with our family and so on. So even if it's a small thing, we have to learn to value the most and also exhibit to others to get inspired. Second one is about removing the clutter in our life. When I talk about clutter, it also talks about emotional clutter, physical clutter, and relational clutter. So it's not only about visual or physical clutter which we get to see, but also the emotional aspects which affect our lives. So the third one would be to actually not to get discouraged in the process of minimalism. So I absolutely like this message that the author conveyed, because he has shared his own personal experiences as to how much he was on the verge of almost giving up minimalism because of some personal things, like he was not able to declutter his storage room because of all the mess that was there, and also how he found it difficult to dispose the toys that the kids that his children were playing with, because there were a lot of toys cluttered around the house, so he had to like clean them even during holiday seasons. So and the last one would be to actually respect the differences that each and every minimalist has. So the author actually gives a personal opinion that we have to respect uh, what the others think minimalism is. For example, for some family, minimalism would be actually selling 90% of the things that they own in their house, and only having 10%. So we have to, like the author says, respect that. But for us, minimalism might look different. We might want to own 50% of the things and sell the other 50. So these are my key takeaways. And lastly, I would like to share a message. So I urge all the students to read this book at least once in your life, and also see to yourself how minimalism can change your life for a better tomorrow. Thank you.